And now, the host of Quirks of Israel, Reverend Peter Faust.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Quirks of Israel. Good to see you. I saw you last week. A lot better hair over there. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Oh, it's so good to be back. Yes, welcome. Okay. All right, let's get started. Welcome to episode 3 of the Quirks of Israel. Yeah, so good to be back. Today is Remembrance Day. So as a special tribute to all who have sacrificed their lives and served in the armed forces so that we may live in a free nation, let us take a somber moment as we play the Canadian anthem. Lest we forget, our incredible men and women at arms have served all over the world from 1812 to Afghanistan in both world wars, and they have served and continue to serve with distinguished honor, valor, and bravery, many paying the ultimate price so that the freedoms we cherish and others deserve can endure. Now, today's episode is called My 3 Favorite Places in Israel. Now, this is not about my 3 favorite sites to go to, or my 3 favorite Israeli foods to eat, or my 3 favorite Jerusalem syndrome experiences, but my 3 favorite places in Israel. Here they are. Number 1, the Galilee. Boom. Number 2, Central Israel, which includes the coastal plain, Jordan Valley, Judean Hills, Biblical Heartland. Boom. Okay. Number 3, and we have the Negev Desert and the south right to Eilat. Boom. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, you just listed the entire country of Israel and broke it up into 3 regions, and you'd be right to say that. You might even add, why didn't you just name the episode I Love All of Israel? And maybe you'd have a point. But although I love all of Israel, I can't just talk about it generally. I want to break it up for you so we can focus on each region because they're so diverse and quirky, each by themselves. So come on. I mean, it's my show and I can call it my 3 favorite places in Israel and then just cover all of Israel without changing the title. So there. Hey, I think that deserves an applause. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Now, what you just witnessed, ladies and gentlemen, was a 5-star rant. Applause for 5-star rants, okay? Yes, okay. All right. So, let us start with the Galilee. As of 2006 numbers, the Galilee is home to over 1.2 million people, 47% of whom are Jewish. Some of the larger cities would be Haifa on the coast, Akko a little north of Haifa, and basically a suburb, Safed. Tiberias, which is located right on the Sea of Galilee, the Sea of Tiberias, and the Kinneret, which is all the same body of water. There's some trivia for you. And then you have the flourishing immigrant city of Carmiel, where we have our Northern Bridges for Peace Assistance Center located at to serve the community. Go Carmiel team, woo! Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear a round of applause. Okay, go Carmiel team. The Jewish community of the Galilee is both religious and secular, with a good number of modern Orthodox inhabiting the region. Then you have Israeli Arabs in large numbers within Arab cities and towns, or mixed communities like Akko and Nazareth. These Israeli Arabs would be a mixed bag of Muslims and Christians. Then you have the mysterious Druze, who live on the beautiful Golan Heights. I say mysterious because their religious beliefs are quite closed and unknown to people who are non-Druze, but they are fierce supporters of Israel and demanded in the 1950s that Israel pass a law obligating the Druze men to serve in the army, the IDF, like most all Israeli citizenry, apart from certain sects of society that are exempt from military service, such as the Ultra-Orthodox and the Israeli Arab community. So back to the Druze. The Druze men are famous for baggy pants and brilliant mustaches, better than anything I've seen this side of the pond, and charming smiles. They are also legendary for teaming up with their wives to ambush busloads of tourists as they sell fresh cherries, apples, and other fruit as roadside vendors. They also produce an addicting food called labneh, which is a thin, round flatbread like a tortilla, and then smeared with goat cheese, olive oil, and spices, then wrapped up like a little sandwich. I'm telling you, it will change your life. But the cherries, as glorious as they are, go easy on them, okay? Go easy, for if you dare to eat a whole box, then pray your plumbing is functioning smoothly, and let your tour guide, bus driver, and everyone on the bus know to keep a lookout for the nearest loo, okay? All right, so as hot as the Galilee can get, and it can be squelching in the summer, in the north, right near Syria and Lebanon, is Mount Hermon, which is a snow-covered mountain with a ski resort. You didn't see that one coming. Snow in Israel, a ski resort? Come on. The Galilee is radiant with fruit orchards, olive groves, vineyards, palms, flowers in the spring, lush animal life and birds, Jewish cowboys on the Golan Heights, seafood restaurants, tour buses, picnicking Israelis, water sports, baptism, hikers, a Swiss forest, imported. I mean, I'm just joking, okay? But it's just a forest called the Swiss forest. Then in 1994, you had the heavens open and a gift descended from the clouds onto Hillel Street in downtown Jerusalem. The founding of the first aroma coffee, which is everywhere in Israel, including the Galilee and Toronto, Canada. Don't get me started on how amazing aroma coffee is, but we need an applause, I think. Yeah, aroma coffee is that good. Okay. Now let us go south to central Israel. If we talk about the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, we are talking about a unique beauty that is only known to Israel. You move south from the rolling hills and lush landscape of the Galilee to the Jordan River, Judean Hills, and fertile coastal plain. You have the bustling coast of Haifa, Netanya, Tel Aviv, and Jaffa. And then you have the hill country of Bet Shemesh, Modi'in, Afula, and rising up like a cherry on top of a cake, Jerusalem, the city of gold. In Tel Aviv, you have surfers, people working on their tan, a paddle game called Matkot, rolling waves, jellyfish, ice cream vendors driving you mad in the 35 degrees Celsius heat. Then move inland towards the east, and you bump into the history and significance of Modi'in, the city of Maccabees. Then Jerusalem, the city of prophets and kings and the site of the ancient temple, both 1 and 2. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, containing the Knesset, which is the government, the Supreme Court, most of the government ministries, the prime minister's and president's residence, the English cake, focaccia restaurant, Tamol Shashon, cafe, and of course, the old city, Temple Mount, the Mount of Olives, the Rockefeller Museum, the busker who never plays an instrument and you can't understand a single word he sings, to the most incredible musicians and street performers. Then you have the Great Synagogue, the Herva Synagogue, Max the bread and pita maker, another Max who hails from France and can give you the best haircut in the world. Then you have the Holy Sepulchre, the Dome of the Rock, the beautiful Mamilla Mall, the Kotel or Western Wall. the Israel Museum, Sacher Park, the Botanical Gardens, the Jerusalem Biblical Zoo, Malcha Mall, Teddy Stadium, and that new stadium I can't remember the name of. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, you have the world famous international headquarters of Bridges for Peace and our Jerusalem Assistance Center in East Talpiot, next to that driving school with all the people who drive around in circles on their scooters. An entertaining sight, yes, but you must remember to watch the road and honk your horn. Okay, so a famous saying, you go to Haifa to study, Tel Aviv to play, and Jerusalem to pray. The diversity is amazing. Sabbath comes to Tel Aviv and the beaches swell with bathers. The odd guy doing chin-ups on some beach workout equipment, not to mention some reggae and Rastafarian hippies, and then a 45-minute drive through the Judean Hill country, or the new fast train in 17 minutes, and you arrive at Jerusalem, a city of 4,000 years of history, the city of King David, the city of the temple, and the city where Jesus died and was buried and rose from the dead. So in a single morning, you could catch rays in Tel Aviv, zip to the Garden Tomb in Jerusalem, and eat a falafel for lunch. But be warned, do not ask, okay? Do not ask, where is the best falafel joint? Because every place that sells falafel is the best falafel joint. They will shout with passion, come my friend, what's your name? Peter? Peter? Try, taste, eat, best falafel in the world, best falafel here. Ken, how you like it? Matzayon, kol hakavod. You never tasted better, Baruch Hashem. Am I right, my friend? Am I right? You think someone will shout at you with passion at a falafel stand? You think that's the worst? Go to the shuk at Machane Yehuda. It's all, hey you, my friend, 1 kilo of strawberries for 20 shekel. Yalla. Where are you from? Efo ata? Me Canada? Nachon. Yeah, hey you. Move along. You must have a coffee and shakshuka from my Uncle Moshe. Have you met my Ima? You ate her chicken? Ma pitom? Oy, Baruch Hashem, bete avon, my friend. First time in Israel, I have a brother, Esra. He drives taxi cab. 20 years, best there is. Taxi was a bar mitzvah gift. My Abba, tell Esra, you lazy, go make shekel. You from Toronto, best place in Canada. My other brother, Eli, lives there. Do you know him? Cigarette? Nah, you don't smoke? Oh, that's okay. I'm trying to quit. I go to Canada next year. Where you live? With Winnipeg? Come on. That's exactly what you see. Israel is a marvelous country. From Jerusalem, you head south on the 90, and within minutes, you catch sight of the Dead Sea, the lowest point on earth. It is 430 meters below sea level. You go from the bustling city of Jerusalem into the Negev, desert, rock, Bedouin, camels, hot, but fantastic. You can float in the Dead Sea. You don't really swim. I mean, it's 30% salt, so you're buoyant. Go from there to Qumran, where they found the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1947, then to En-Gedi, an oasis paradise where King David hid from King Saul. And then you wind down for nearly 3 hours until you come to Eilat, paradise of Israel, the Hawaii of Israel, right on the Red Sea. You can see the kingdom of Jordan across the Gulf of Aqaba, Saudi Arabia to the south, and Egypt bordering the southern perimeter of Eilat. So in summary, you can wake up on Mount Hermon, ski down the slope, jump in a car, and by early evening, go snorkeling in the Red Sea and see the wonder of the second largest coral reef in the world. Afterwards, enjoy a cup of Turkish coffee and fill your belly with a Moses burger. Israel is quirky. So join me on episode 4 of the Quirks of Israel, where we journey into uncharted territory to experience what it is like to tour Israel in a group, placing your life in the hands of an Israeli tour guide and a bus driver who could compete in Formula One racing. Israel is fascinating and quirky. Cheers and shalom.